Hey, it's Tech Thursday.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Nicole.
And
this week, actually, I was inspired by something Cassie wrote. So sometimes we go through stages here where, like, okay, I won't write much, and then Cassie will write a lot, and then sometimes I try to go in and do that, and I feel like it doesn't go as well. But anyway, Cassie wrote one
sometimes I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we take turns
kind of
trade off, right?
Instead of like we did have a period where neither one of us had kids, and that was a dark time. But I think it was when all of this was happening too. So
right.
It was circumstantial.
It was circumstantial. But anyway, so sometimes it sort of explains why, like, sometimes there's stuff on the blog that I haven't read yet. So I was reading Cassie's post about, I love the title too. It was like, what was it? I have to look at it. Because it was like,
I forgot to.
It was a very
whimsical, like, I came up with it after I wrote it.
Yeah, and that's why I thought we'd call this particular Google Hangout Masterminds, Forums, and One-Man Wolfpacks, which I thought was great, you know? So like, what made you think about writing this blog post about online forums and basically communities where people get together to support each other?
Oh gosh, where do I even begin? I'm trying to remember, like, get back in that headspace that I was a couple weeks ago. So,
oh my god, it's a couple weeks old. Sorry.
I think I published it on Labor Day. Yeah, because I remember I was getting mad at my brother for distracting me as I was trying to write it.
Nice.
I was like, "Oh, come out and play in like an hour. Just let me finish this." Because it was on actual Labor Day, so I was working in Millbridge. So it kind of started out, so we're doing, I think I mentioned in the blog post, the Whole30 diet. And it's awesome because there's a couple of different people involved, so we have some accountability, and all of us are kind of having our own different experiences with it, which is cool, but we can kind of go and talk to each other about it. And I like to think I'm self-aware, but, you know, there are glitches in that. And this kind of I was just feeling like really, really bad. And I tried to go out for a run like the first week of this diet and just stopped. Like, my legs stopped and I sat down in the middle of the road. And that just never happens. This is like a mile or two into this run and just like system failure. I was like, what is happening? This doesn't feel good, and I'm not supposed to feel this bad.
Right.
Like, they do say the first week is pretty rough and you're going to feel some ups and downs. But this was like total crash. So our friend Allison was like, go check out the forums because, you know, you're also vegetarian and you're in the peak of marathon training right now. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. So I looked at these forums and I learned that, so I get my protein from eggs and sometimes fish, but fish can be kind of expensive. So
yeah,
mainly just eggs. And like once a month I'll throw down for a haddock fillet. That's a good week. /2 days. So I can make it last. I digress. So I had this in my head that the amount of protein you can get from a serving of like a usual, I don't know, 1 or 2 eggs is the same amount you can get from meat. It turns out that's wildly untrue.
Oh. I didn't know.
For the amount that I am hoping to work out, I would have to eat about 12 eggs a day.
That's a lot
to get
of
the
eggs.
Amount of protein.
You're like
that
Gaston.
Yes.
In Beauty and the Beast.
And every last inch of me is covered in hair.
That's not the part I was thinking. I was thinking about the part where he eats 5 dozen eggs for breakfast.
So I'm roughly the size of a barge. That song, the part where he like does the Chester thing, when I was little, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, I want to marry that guy.
I'm like, he was pretty manly.
He was, and I think that kind of set me up for a lot of relationship failures later in life, because that's the person I was attracted to. Anyway, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically you were trying. No. I'm the one who brought up Beauty and the Beast. I should have known. So basically, you were trying to get enough protein, and you realized that the amount of eggs you were eating was just not gonna do it.
Yeah, and they recommend like a handful of nuts. So, because, or just like, a little, so, because I will kind of go to that, but the diet's like, slow your roll on the nuts.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I haven't been looking stuff up really.
So they say like, a handful a day, and then you're done.
Good to know.
Confession, I ate a lot of nuts last night because
you just need some protein.
I just need some protein, and that was all I had. But anyway, so without this group, I probably would still be suffering and wondering why I feel terrible.
Right.
And that kind of inspired me, like, there's this great resource right in front of me that I wouldn't have thought to look at. And there's forums for just about everything. When I have a problem with a WordPress plugin, it's something you can go on and
totally
look up. Or if you're having a problem, like I was having a problem with an app last night, it wasn't working, and said like the SSL is failing. And I Googled it, and it was like, when it just had all these forums of people having the same problem.
Nice. And it certainly does make you feel better. And of course, so Cassie was divinely inspired, and then I started thinking more about it, and I thought, like it's interesting to think about the kinds of forums that exist out there. And I thought that I would pull up a couple of examples and that we could look at, because I thought that would make it more interesting than just staring at us. Not that, of course, you don't enjoy that. Oh, right. I got to make it share the screen. That would probably help. So, basically there's different ways you can structure sort of online forums, and there's different ways different groups use them. And I just found like kind of 3 examples that I thought would sort of illustrate the different kinds of things that were out there. So the first one I thought I'd pull up is the Whole30 forum that we were just talking about. And honestly, like the only one that I've even been to, and I probably would honestly be doing better on this if I was in the forums, but the can I have blank is like so useful, because you can just go in and be like, oh, can I have, and it's so funny because they have some really funny ones in here. Like, can I have throat lozenges? Can I have veg juice?
Oh.
Can I eat artichokes? Can I have coffee with coconut milk? It's just like,
all of that was okay.
I think it is, but I think what it is just like, you can be super lazy about it and just be like, can I have this? And someone just says yes or no.
That's true. If I've ever heard of you, that's interesting.
Right?
I would say no, but
I would say no as well too. Yeah.
Judgy.
Right.
Yeah, I went into this diet only going in with the Whole30 approved shopping list. That was it. That was all I have.
Yeah, and that's, that's hard because sometimes putting things together. So now this is a really typical looking forum, right? You have these different, threads or topics. Sometimes they have it sort of pre-approved. So like, they have, like, I'm sure that these are ones that the Whole30 has started versus random people.
Yeah, they have a whole like media team.
Right. So, but it makes sense that like kind of the main topic threads are sort of created by the people who are going to maintain them, right? Versus just having a bunch of random people on there, maybe having things be duplicated. And I'm sure they spend a lot of time. So typically forums, right? You've all seen these before. There's like different like sort of topic threads. And then in each one you can see how many sort of sub threads are going on, how many comments, replies, whatever they want to call it. And then possibly, either the author of it or the person who latest posted in it. So there's usually a component, not just for the posts themselves, but for the members of the forum too. So it encourages you to, post things and, and what's associated, like, let's just look at, Jane Arden, and we see that she has, 13 active posts, and she's been a member since this day, and her last time she was active was, wow, 3 a.m. Go her. But the thing is, like, it encourages the way that they're set up. It almost gives you your own little webpage. So it kind of encourages you to participate.
And it's really easy to, like, I was able to hone in on exactly what I needed pretty easily without having to dig around too much.
Yeah. Did you use the search box, or did you use one of the
I used the search box, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so that's the other thing too. So whether you're one of those people who enjoys things like sitemaps or book outlines or sort of linear things, you can also, you know, you can also search specifically for what you want, you know, in something like this too. So that's characteristic of forums. Like no matter how like design wise they look or whatever, they all kind of function pretty much the same way.
yeah.
But your blog post also got me to thinking about other kinds of sort of online support that people get. And it made me think of Quora, which I think is hilarious because, so I've been going through, those of you who don't know me, I get a lot of email and it really like overwhelms and crushes my spirit. So I've been slowly unsubscribing from like every email I don't need to get and moving things into RSS feeds and things like that so that I can still get the information but not have it be in my inbox. But the thing with Quora, what you can do that I sort of appreciate is that it's more of a ask a question, get a bunch of answers thing versus a, you know, more traditional forum.
So like Yahoo Answers, but slightly more successful. And
yeah, and less stupid questions.
yeah,
I'm not saying there isn't stupid questions on here
because
because there totally is. No, yes, more relevant questions, but you know, there is like topics. So like you can look at like the marketing section or you can look at like the, you know, so you can look at different sections of things, but it's not because people are choosing necessarily to be like, I am posting this in this particular thread. They're just like tagging it as that and it's coming up. So, you know, like someone can ask a question like, what are the best lead generation tools? And so they put this answer from Wiki and then they kind of want people to elaborate. So then other people also elaborate. And you see, like, this is the same idea with the forum. Not only do you have the questions and the answers, but you also have like the person's, you know, profile, you know, and we can see like, okay, if we really like this person's answers, we can follow them, but we can also see like when they last posted, we can see, you know, how many views they get, we can see how many, whatever followers they have, to just give you an idea of who they are as well. So it's like information in a context. I think Yahoo has that too, though. Like if you answer with your Yahoo name, like people can hover over you and see your.
Yeah.
So
there's some. That's like one of those like validation things for me. Yahoo Answers. Like, oh, okay, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, totally. But you know, it's people can like kind of weigh in, and it's not just like an article. It's like it's sort of like a bunch of people have sort of sourced together to write an article. Mm-hmm. But you know, without it necessarily being all the same format and well written necessarily. But and then, you know, sometimes forums also have these features, and I didn't see if Whole30 had this, but where you can upvote and downvote things so that things that are like better sort of rise to the top and things that are less good, you know, kind of get buried. That's how sites like Reddit work too, you know, so you can, you know, that's how, you know, Reddit, the front page of the internet. So things that have the most votes get on the front page. So what you can do is if you're looking at a resource and you're like, wow, I really like this person's resource, you could upvote it. And as you see, I'm logged in as me. What's hilarious is I've never posted anything and I have like 4 or 5 followers. I mean, it must be just people who sign up and are like, oh, hey, I guess I'll follow Nicole on this. And I haven't posted anything. I just joined it. This is one of the things I unsubscribed to email-wise, which is what made me think of it. But not to say I feel like I appreciate websites like Quora or LinkedIn groups and other things like that.
LinkedIn is.
Yeah. So, okay, so first off, you have the like legit forum that has like the topic threads and the, you know, the real organization that is like a forum. And then you have this kind of, this is still a forum, I would say, but it's just a little bit more loosely structured.
Yeah, it seems also like much more open. Like Whole30 has a clear, like there's a specific, like your forum, it's a forum for the Whole30, whereas Core is more open to any and all things.
Right. And I can pull up, you know, I just looked up Facebook because usually people have opinions and or questions about Facebook. So you
what
can.
Are some hilarious Facebook conversations?
What is the difference between Quora and Facebook?
That's what I was laughing
at. Nice. Oh my God. So anyway, so you can look at just the topic, and it looks like, you know, I follow some topics. I really enjoy relationship advice, so that's one of the topics I follow. But so you can either look, you know, for a general topic, or you can look for more specific information. But anyway, it's the same idea of a forum, but it's just less of that conventional structure. And then the third type of forum that I've seen is basically Facebook or other social media groups. So you can have, so this is a group I belong to. Actually, I pay to be a part of it. And it's like this online, basically it's an online business group. And probably what I appreciate about it, and I won't keep it online too long because it's supposed to be an online group, is that people summarize their posts by putting the thing in brackets that it's going to be about. So you don't have to read the whole thing to get the point necessarily. Like you can just, I'm just trying to find one that's like what does your review process look like? Detailed methodology, right? So this way I don't have to necessarily read this whole post if I'm not interested. I can just decide like, oh, okay, that's something that I want to do or that's something I don't want to do. So, you know, there's these different online groups for different kinds of things. Are you a part of any active Facebook groups that do stuff?
Just like running groups, like when they're going to do group runs and stuff. Not super active in anything.
Yeah.
But I guess the biggest one that I have going on right now is the one that we have for
the full 30.
Yeah. But with stuff like that, like I think you were the one that had mentioned when we were coming up with our blog content plan about masterminds.
Yeah.
And the idea of, I guess, support groups that are not necessarily online, but they totally could be.
Right. And I think the idea when I think about a support group or when I think about like a forum, it's usually around a specific topic, right? It's like, it's about training for a marathon, or it's about like following a specific diet, or it's about like a medical condition. But a mastermind is kind of a little bit more general. It's like, let's say 5 of us get together every week and we talk about not just business, but we talk about our lives, we talk about like our overall goals. It's more of like, it's a little bit more of like a general self-improvement.
Yes.
And it's funny, it's hard to find them because you do need to have that commitment to get together really regularly in person, which is hard. And you can't have the group be too big because, and I've heard of that happening, if the group gets too big, it's hard to give everyone, like if you were getting together every week, you wanted to give everyone like time to talk about their thing. And if there's 20 of you, I mean, you can't just be having 4-hour meetings every week to really get down into it. And some groups have, you know, I've heard of groups that are, you know, between, you know, 4 and 12 people being semi-typical for a mastermind group. But that's like an in-person thing, and it's a more holistic thing. And I'm not saying that the other ones are great. Like if you have a specific question, but you know, that's what these specific forums are for. But I think there's also websites out there where, and who knows, maybe there's like a good mastermind website. I should look that up before this broadcast.
Well, I was thinking like mastermind, while it's ideal that you all meet in person, like technology, like you could do a Google Hangout, like you could bring someone in with Skype or a Google Hangout, or like really schedule like once a week we're all going to check in, or like we're all going to be online together.
Right. And I will say that business group that I'm a part of, I actually about 3 months ago or something, it was in the middle of Anchor Space. I can't believe they were like, hey, we want to do a 1-day thing. Everyone sign up ahead of time if you want to do it. So there was 10 of us that signed up, and we each got 10 minutes to talk about our business and like the issues we were having, or like the things we wanted just general feedback on. And then we got 5 minutes question and answer from the people and suggestions, and then we moved on to the next person. We did that for everyone. And it was actually like, I wasn't quite sure. Like one guy was a DJ in LA. One guy was like starting to teach robotics classes in Massachusetts. Like I was a little bit like concerned that like, okay, these people can't really help me because they're not opening co-working spaces in the middle of down East Maine, you know, like, but honestly, like they did bring up some stuff that I hadn't thought about. It was like nice to get like another perspective from somebody completely outside the situation who also, and then to be able to turn around and help them back, you know? So I didn't think there was anything I could say to help a DJ in LA book more gigs, but I actually had, like, while he was talking, I had an idea, and I was able to, and he was like, oh, that's a really great idea. And I forget what it was, but I was like, huh, Who knew? Who knew I had that in me? So it was like a mini mastermind, and then they were like, we're going to do this every week. And I was like, it was like Sunday afternoon. It was like 2 hours. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can commit to doing this every week. But the point is, like, you know, it was a valuable exercise, more so than I thought it was going to be. Like, I sort of agreed to do it because I'm trying to say yes to things, especially things I want to immediately say no to, because usually that's something I should do. The things I least want to do are the things I probably should be doing. But yeah, so you should check out Cassie's blog post, and also, you know, if you have some online forums that you like to go to that you find are particularly useful, you can leave a comment on this video, because, you know, we all need advice on stuff, and if you found a particularly good resource, why not share it?
Yeah, I was actually going to start off the blog post with a link to Lean On Me. But I was like, that's so tacky. But like, I literally had the song in my head almost the entire time.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was writing this.
You need other people, and it's
That's where the one-man Wolfpack thing came in, because I'm very much a one-man Wolfpack, inspired by The Hangover.
Right.
Duh. So I've noticed that when I do reach out for help, it's usually there, be it online or in real life.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. So thanks for watching the Tech Thursday, and please, if you have any topics you want us to address, any questions, if you've got something weird on your website, I don't know, like, we're open to things.
Yeah, think of us like Quora. You can ask us.
Quora.
You can ask us your weird questions.
Yeah.
And we'll address them.
Right, and we'll try to address them, because we have like 20 to 30 minutes. You know, we can address them in a moderately holistic way. I mean,
yeah, we'll give you more than you bargained for, probably. In a good way.
In a good way. All right, well, have a great week, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to my terrible singing.
No, it was beautiful. It was wonderful.